all of neurotransmitters in altered states. Neurotransmitters such as serotonin, dopamine, and GABA are essential for regulating consciousness, mood, and perception. In ordinary waking states, they help maintain balance between focus, awareness, and bodily grounding. However, during an out-of-body experience, OBE, these chemical messengers may undergo unusual fluctuations. Serotonin, which influences mood and sensory perception, might shift in a way that enhances vivid inner imagery and dreamlike awareness, allowing the mind to disconnect from the physical body. Dopamine, tied to motivation and reward, could surge, producing a sense of heightened clarity, euphoria, or the realness of the astral-like environment. GABA, the brain's main inhibitory neurotransmitter, may suppress normal sensory input, creating a state of deep calm where the usual body-centered awareness fades. Together, these neurochemical changes can alter how the brain filters reality, making the boundary between inner experiences and external perception more flexible. This flexibility may explain why OBEs feel both deeply real and yet detached from the physical body. Influence of DMT and natural psychedelics. The brain is thought to produce small amounts of DMT, dimethyltryptamine, a powerful psychedelic compound often referred to as the spirit molecule. Although its exact role in human consciousness is still debated, many researchers propose that DMT could be involved in altered states of awareness, such as near-death experiences, mystical visions, and out-of-body experiences, OBEs. In normal conditions, DMT exists only in trace amounts, possibly synthesized in the pineal gland and other brain regions. When released in higher concentrations, either naturally in rare states like dreaming, deep meditation, or extreme stress, it may trigger intense visionary experiences resembling astral travel. These experiences often include bright colors, geometric patterns, beings or environments that feel more real than waking life, which mirrors reports of OBEs. Interestingly, many plant-based psychedelics such as ayahuasca containing DMT or psilocybin mushrooms can artificially induce states strikingly similar to OBEs. They dissolve the usual boundaries of self, reduce activity in the brain's default mode network, DMN, and create a sense of expansion beyond the body. This overlap suggests that both naturally occurring DMT in the brain and external psychedelic compounds might tap into the same neural circuits that underlie OBEs, blurring the line between spontaneous mystical states and chemically induced journeys. Serotonin's link to mystical experiences. Serotonin is one of the most important neurotransmitters for regulating mood, perception, sleep, and dreaming. It plays a central role in how we interpret reality and how deeply we feel connected to ourselves and the world around us. When serotonin activity is altered or heightened, it can lead to profound changes in consciousness that mirror the mystical qualities often described in out-of-body experiences, OBEs. During dreaming or deep meditation, serotonin levels fluctuate, making inner imagery more vivid and emotionally charged. This is why altered states often feel deeply meaningful, not just like random thoughts. High or irregular serotonin activity can dissolve the sense of ego boundaries, producing feelings of oneness with the universe, spiritual connection, or merging with higher realities. Research on psychedelics such as LSD and psilocybin, which primarily affect serotonin receptors, especially the 5-HT2A receptor, shows that people consistently report expanded awareness, encounters with mystical beings, and a sense of traveling beyond the body. This suggests that serotonin is not only a mood stabilizer, but also a gateway neurotransmitter for mystical-type experiences. Its altered activity may allow the brain to access a non-ordinary state of consciousness, where the line between the inner world and the outer universe dissolves, mirroring the sensations of floating free from the body in an OBE. Dopamine and reward pathways during OBE. Dopamine is the brain's primary neurotransmitter for motivation, reward, and pleasure. It shapes how strongly we value an experience and how likely we are to seek it out again. During an out-of-body experience, OBE, Shifts in dopamine activity may play a key role in why these states feel so powerful, euphoric, and deeply rewarding. OBEs often come with a surge of excitement or bliss, similar to the rush people feel when achieving something significant, listening to moving music, or experiencing love. This emotional intensity is tied to dopamine's activation of the brain's reward circuits. Dopamine release may enhance mental clarity and focus, making the astral-like environment feel extraordinarily real, vivid, and meaningful. The pleasurable quality of these experiences can reinforce a desire to return to them, much like how dreams or spiritual practices become addictive for some seekers. Research on mystical and psychedelic states shows that dopamine interacts with serotonin and other neurotransmitters, amplifying the emotional and motivational impact of altered consciousness. In the context of an OBE, this combination can create a state that feels not only liberating, but also spiritually fulfilling. Role of GABA in deep relaxation and detachment. GABA, gamma-aminobutyric acid, is the brain's primary inhibitory neurotransmitter. Its job is to quiet down overactive neural activity, reduce stress signals, and create a sense of calm and stability. Without enough GABA, the mind races, the body feels tense, and entering deep states of consciousness becomes difficult. During an out-of-body experience, OBE, enhanced GABA activity may provide the necessary foundation for detachment from physical identity. Deep relaxation. By reducing unnecessary brain chatter, GABA allows the body to sink into profound stillness, similar to the heavy calm felt just before falling asleep. Lowered anxiety and fear. Many people resist the sensation of leaving the body because of fear or uncertainty. Higher GABA levels mute the stress response, making it easier to surrender to the experience. Loosening of body identity. GABA quiets sensory feedback loops, meaning the brain stops paying as much attention to signals from muscles, skin, and organs. This detachment can make the body feel hollow or distant, creating space for the sense of floating or separating. Meditative practices, deep breathing, and even certain foods naturally boost GABA, which may explain why meditators, monks, and spiritual practitioners often report OBEs or mystical states. In this way, GABA acts as the gateway into stillness, silencing the physical body so that consciousness can shift its focus beyond material boundaries. Endorphins and pain-free separation sensations. Endorphins are the body's natural painkillers and mood enhancers, often released during exercise, deep relaxation, or moments of stress. They bind to the brain's opioid receptors, dulling physical discomfort while creating a sense of warmth, comfort, and even euphoria. In the context of an out-of-body experience, OBE, endorphins may explain why people often describe the transition out of the body as effortless, painless, and blissful. Pain-free detachment. When the brain floods with endorphins, normal sensations of bodily tension or discomfort fade, making the separation feel smooth and natural. Euphoric floating. Many experiencers report a gentle lift or floating sensation wrapped in peace and joy, a hallmark of endorphin activity. Protective buffer. By reducing physical stress signals, endorphins may prevent the brain from panicking during the unusual shift of awareness away from the body. This chemical effect mirrors reports from near-death experiences, where people in critical pain often describe suddenly feeling no discomfort at all, replaced by an overwhelming sense of peace or lightness. The brain's release of endorphins could be a neurochemical safety net that softens the transition into extraordinary states of consciousness. In this way, endorphins act as the comforting cushion of the OBE process, ensuring the shift feels not like trauma, but like a gentle, blissful release from physical limitations. Pineal gland activation theories. The pineal gland, a small endocrine organ located deep within the brain, has long been associated with mystical awareness and altered states of consciousness. In spiritual traditions, it is often referred to as the third eye, believed to be the seat of inner vision and higher perception. Modern neuroscience confirms that the pineal gland produces melatonin, a hormone that regulates sleep and dreaming. And some researchers propose that it may also produce small amounts of DMT, dimethyltryptamine, a compound strongly linked to visionary states. Melatonin's role: by regulating the body's sleep-wake cycles and dream states, melatonin may set the stage for the transition into altered awareness, making the mind more receptive to OBE-like phenomena. Possible DMT release. Some theories suggest that under special conditions, such as deep meditation, sensory deprivation, or near-death situations, the pineal gland might release a surge of DMT, producing vivid inner visions that mirror the classic features of an OBE. Spiritual significance. Ancient traditions, from Hinduism's concept of the Ajna chakra to mystical teachings worldwide, describe the pineal gland as a portal to higher dimensions, aligning closely with modern reports of astral travel and separation from the body. Although scientific evidence is still limited, the pineal gland remains a powerful symbol bridging science and mysticism. Whether through its hormonal effects, potential DMT production, or symbolic role as the inner eye, many believe its activation could be the key trigger for shifting consciousness beyond physical limits into an OBE. Brainwave shifts, theta gamma. In OBEs, the brain communicates through rhythmic electrical patterns called brainwaves, each frequency linked to specific states of consciousness. During out-of-body experiences, OBEs, researchers and experiencers alike report unusual blends of theta and gamma brainwave activity, creating a neurological environment that supports both detachment from the body and heightened clarity of awareness. Theta waves, 4 to 7 Hz, common in deep relaxation, meditation, and the hypnagogic state between waking and sleep. Theta fosters vivid inner imagery, dreamlike sensations, and a softened grip on physical reality, an ideal foundation for leaving the body. Gamma waves, 30 to 100 Hz, associated with heightened perception, unity experiences, and integrative thinking. Bursts of gamma activity often occur during mystical states, deep meditation, and psychedelic experiences. In OBEs, gamma may provide the laser-like clarity that makes these states feel more real than dreams. The rare combination. What makes OBEs unique is the overlap. Theta waves allow surrender and detachment, while gamma surges bring sharp awareness and a sense of expanded consciousness. This duality explains why people often describe OBEs as both deeply dreamlike and crystal clear at the same time. Some EEG studies of meditators and near-death experiencers suggest this brainwave mix could act as a neural signature for transcendent states. By synchronizing deep relaxation with peak awareness, the brain may create the perfect stage for consciousness to step outside its normal boundaries. Neuroplasticity and repeated OBE practice. The brain is not fixed. It constantly adapts and reshapes itself through a process called neuroplasticity. This means that repeated mental or physical practices can strengthen neural pathways, making certain states of consciousness easier to access over time. In the context of out-of-body experiences, OBEs, frequent practice may gradually train the brain to enter these altered states more smoothly, naturally, and with greater control, strengthening access pathways. Each time an individual enters an OBE-like state, the brain rehearses the neural patterns involved. Over time, this repetition creates stronger connections, reducing resistance and making future separations feel more natural. Lowering the entry barrier. Just as meditation or lucid dreaming becomes easier with consistency, OBE practice may recondition the brain to shift quickly from ordinary waking consciousness into altered states. Greater control and stability. With practice, experiencers often report fewer random or chaotic elements, gaining the ability to direct movement, intention, and focus within the non-physical state. This may reflect the brain's increasing efficiency in stabilizing unusual patterns of activity, such as theta-gamma synchronization. Lasting psychological effects. Repeated OBEs may also create broader neuroplastic changes, such as improved emotional regulation, reduced fear of death, heightened creativity, and stronger intuition. In this way, neuroplasticity transforms OBEs from rare, spontaneous events into a trainable skill. Just as musicians or athletes refine their abilities through practice, the brain can rewire itself to support more consistent, controlled journeys beyond the body. Unresolved questions in the neuroscience of OBEs. Despite significant advances in neuroscience, the true nature of out-of-body experiences, OBEs, remains a profound mystery. While researchers can map brainwave patterns, neurotransmitter activity, and psychological conditions linked to OBEs, there is still no definitive explanation for why they feel so real, immersive, and transformative. Brain-based theories. Many scientists argue that OBEs are generated entirely within the brain. They may arise from unusual activity in regions such as the temporoparietal junction, TPJ, which integrates sensory information and body awareness. Disruptions in this area can produce the sensation of floating outside one's body. Consciousness beyond brain theories. Others point out that OBEs often include verifiable perceptions of events or details outside the physical body, which are difficult to explain as hallucinations. This raises the possibility that consciousness might extend beyond the brain, interacting with reality in ways science does not yet understand. The bridging challenge. Current neuroscience can describe how certain altered states occur via neurotransmitters, brainwaves, or neuroplasticity, but not why the sense of separation feels so authentic, or whether the experience represents access to another dimension of existence. This tension leaves OBEs at the crossroads of science and spirituality. For neuroscience, they are a puzzle of perception and brain function. For mysticism, they are proof that human awareness is not bound by flesh. Until more evidence emerges, OBEs remain one of the great unanswered questions about the nature of consciousness itself.